This is part 5 of our Airbnb diary. So if you have not watched part 1, 2, 3, or 4, you need to click the links down in our description box so you can get caught up with what's going on.
This is the Airbnb family, y'all friends. We're gonna break down essentially some of the details that were her complaints, but of course, being an Airbnb host, we're on the other side of the fence, so we have a different perspective.
Well, first of all, she said the only nice thing she could say about us is that we had great communication. And everything else was like blah. And she started complaining about the fact that we checked on the unit at 10:30 when checkout time is at 11:30. The reason
11 o'clock.
At 11 o'clock. The reason why we went to the unit at 10:30, which was on my birthday. We was in transition of getting out the house for my birthday.
Actually, we were returning. We had already done like a early morning brunch or something like that. We was on the way back home, and on the way coming back, we saw that the security door was swung open. It wasn't just a crack, it was swung wide open. And there was no longer a vehicle in the driveway. Again, we live next door, so we was able to see them during their stay. We know that they had a vehicle, and we know that today is their checkout day, and it's 30 minutes before they're supposed to be gone. Our security door is wide open, and there's no car in the driveway. That's gonna lead us to believe that they probably left a little early.
Right. So we went next door to make sure that they were gone or still there. We didn't know, but we wanted to close the security door. So as we was closing the security door, it was like, hey, let's check to see if they are here or not, because if not, we can go ahead and secure our unit because we are going to be gone all day. So that's what we did. We knocked on the door, and surprisingly, someone came to the door, even though the car was gone.
If you were in our position, I think anybody reasonably would have done the same thing. Another thing she complained about was the fact that we only had one television. So there's no televisions in our bedrooms. And for us, that's because, in my opinion, when you're traveling, television isn't or shouldn't be the big thing to do. Like,
right, because you shouldn't be in the house. You should be in your city exploring. That's the whole point of being on vacation.
Right. Again, we will admit, like we said, we've had guests that show that sometimes they just need a short-term roof over their head, and they're not really here for, vacation or recreation. Nevertheless, I've been to many Airbnbs where they only have one television in the unit.
And the unit is way bigger than 2 bedrooms.
Yes. She complained about the expendables running out on her. Now, here's the thing. As an Airbnb host, when people book, we will provide them with enough amenities to last for that amount of time of their booking, as long as it's not past a week. If it's past a week, then it's up to you to replenish what you need. We will provide you shampoo, conditioner, toilet paper, dishwashing soap, and all of those other little things, bleach and all of that kind of stuff. We'll provide it, but we can't control at what rate you use it up. And it's not economic for us to just replenish just because you're wasteful. That's not how being a host is beneficial to us. We have to ration out our supplies for our guests to keep this a profitable business. So she complained about that, and I mean, you can kind of gauge what her complaints were. Were they warranted? In her eyes, maybe. From the side of us being hosts, we felt like every decision that we made during her stay was a very justified and reasonable one. And most people on our side of the fence most likely would have conducted themselves the same way. And we have also been guests. We've experienced similar or equivalent treatment. So we don't think that we were operating outside of the norms for the Airbnb community.
And I just truly believe that she knew that her review was going to be bad, to where she tried to make ours just as bad, which we didn't learn how bad we should have reviewed her until after we flipped the unit, because that was a guess to where we had to rethink, like, we still want to do this. yeah, it was a lot of stuff. And to keep in mind, so I'm gonna break down really quick some of the things that I neglected to put in her review.
that I should have. And this is the kind of stuff you don't want to miss when you flip units in the beginning. Number one, they burnt pans. They cooked and burnt. We had brand new pans. Again, we've only been in business with Airbnb for 6 weeks. This was our second guest. And they burnt multiple pans, damaged the protective covers that we put over our mattresses, scuffed up the walls, of course, consumed.
Clogged the
oh
toilets.
my God.
They clogged the toilets.
Yeah, man. Yeah, clogged that toilet. It took me like an hour. It took me an hour. Wifey over here had cleaned the whole rest of the unit, and I'm fighting with a toilet.
Yep, he was still in the bathroom.
Still in the bathroom, man.
Went to each room.
Yeah, clogged up the toilet, threw up on the sheets.
So we had to replace
yeah.
the sheets.
Needless to say, y'all can see how we really dropped the ball on reviewing them accurately and thoroughly. But again, that's lessons learned. This next tip is one that we've heard from everybody. Online, my sister, her friends who run Airbnbs, everybody says make sure that you keep your communication on the Airbnb website. Both of you will receive each other's cell phone numbers. So you could do a lot of communication and arranging and talking about house rules and check-in times and all of those sorts of things via text message. Don't do that. Do it through the Airbnb website so that it can all be tracked, and in the event that there is any issues, there is some level of a paper trail, a digital paper trail, showing what has been communicated, what has been established, what has been understood between you and your guests during their stay or prior to their stay. If you go outside of it, then Airbnb says that they won't really be able to support you and protect you if there are any issues that arise from any miscommunications, whether that be property damage or anything else. So stay on the website when you're communicating with your guests.
Because one of our guests, they actually book right after their checkout, and so they wanted to pretty much pay out of pocket, and we're like, no, ma'am, we do everything through Airbnb. So you want to avoid the service fees and the cleaning fees, then you need to book the amount of time that you plan on staying, so you won't be experiencing those fees over and over again.
Not only that, but when you do it outside of the framework of Airbnb, if you don't have an external system that sets up the terms of the stay and all of those sorts of things, you're basically just operating on Wild Wild West standards, where there is no documented agreement for these stays. Whereas if you do it through Airbnb, everything is taken care of through them. They offer you protection as well, and insurance and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like you really just don't want to be out here unprotected doing things outside of it. And I forgot she did say that, didn't she? Yeah, we was like, nah, we're not doing that. And you'll have a lot of people want you to send them your address to the unit prior to them ever booking or paying for a stay. I guess they want to drive by and take a look at it or something like that. Don't you do that. That's not a smart one. I don't want any strangers popping up to my unit. So we always have to tell them, no, you cannot come by here without booking. That's the way you receive the address. And on top of that, they already will give you a general map of the area of where the home is. So you can do your own research from there with what Airbnb provides you, but I'm not giving you the address. So my advice is don't do that, because you never know who's gonna show up, and you never know to what extent they're gonna start utilizing your address. They may have something sent there.
Right.
You never know. Right. So it's like, we're not doing that. All right, so this next tip is basically just gonna save you a lot of time, and that is utilizing saved messages. Saved messages is a feature inside of Airbnb's messaging platform where you can basically type up a template message, save it, and utilize it repeatedly for your guests. A lot of situations that you run into require you to say the exact same thing For instance, your check-in time is this, your checkout time is that, your key code is this, and it will be sent this day. And a lot of other messages that you'll find yourself having to repeat, you can just save those and always plug and play as needed. So remember that feature and utilize it as much as you can, because it saves a lot of time and it helps you increase your response rate, because now you don't have to wait until you get a free 10 minutes to send whatever message you need to send. You can literally just go into the saved messages, pop it in, hit send, and it's done, and it keeps your response rate up. That's another thing that Airbnb always pushes and wants you to maintain.